Here's a trick to getting the Vienna sausage out the can. You know how them Vienna sausage always get stuck? Just take you a stick, get that middle one loose, and there you go. That's it.
Y'all know what time it is. Let's get it.
Hey, check this out. The rental equipment has arrived. Part 2 of the solar duck impoundment project. I got to go down here and straighten this levee up a little bit. Water is leaking through and we really didn't do it right to begin with. So right now we're going to put this pond liner, those 2 boxes right there. That's the pond liner. And we are going to dig a trench in front of the dike. So right here, you see that ditch? Well, that ditch made the levee that you can't see underneath all that grass. The reason why there's water in that ditch where we borrowed the soil is because the water in our little depression over here that we're trying to fill up is leaking laterally through the soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a trench on this side, and we're going to put that pond liner down all the way to the clay layer. And we're going to pack it in and seal off that levee and then put more soil on top of it. That'll be the end of that. The land is higher all the way around except for here. This is the low spot and the water's going laterally through the soil, wanting to move that way. Of course, it's just going to follow gravity. What's up, everybody? As you can see behind me right there, there's the trench. It took me a couple hours to dig that out. I know it doesn't look straight. And in a lot of places I had to dig the edges out and pull it because I was having trouble with it caving in. You know, I'd get down a little ways and then from all the water sloshing around, it would create a kind of a cavern underneath there. And then it would just fall. I'd get down here and then watch it cave in.
Very frustrating because I'm trying to dig it out and I got big, huge, like a cliff, of, like a mudslide or something, that just fall off into. So I had to go back and rake it out.
But anyway, that's the trench. Tomorrow I'm going to come out here and we're going to put the plastic down. I'm going to roll the plastic out and then slide it in there, and we're going to pile that soil back in that trench. We're going to pack it back in the trench. And then we got to get on the other side and pull soil and lay it on top of the plastic and dress all that up. And once that's done, this sucker is going to hold water. The reason why I say that is because, check this out. See here? See the color change in the soil? Okay, so down in here, you got like a sand on top. It's like really sandy soil here. But down about maybe 36 to 42 inches, you start hitting a layer of clay. You see all that red in there? See this? Red clay. You can take it, make a nice ball out of it. When you drop it and it hits the ground, it doesn't bust. Your soil will do that. It will hold water. So we're going to put the pond liner down, come back, pack this, dress up the rest of it, and we'll be good to go. This one will hold water. And then it'll be on to the Green Tree Reservoir tomorrow. It's really close to the pond. It's very easy for me to pump. I have several. I have about 4. Yeah, I got 4 pumps that will easily pump that Green Tree Reservoir. It's only going to be about a couple acres, but it is going to be some jam up wood duck habitat. All right, here's the Green Tree Reservoir right here. We're building this levee right here. See all the pine trees behind us? All those pine trees are there because they logged on this side and they logged on that side, but they couldn't get down in this area right here because it had been a little rainy and it was too wet. Primarily, this land is high and sandy, so they usually don't have a problem. but here they did. They opted not to go down in there. And the first time we said, well, they got to log it first and then we'll create the Green Tree Reservoir. Well, then they came back and logged the other side over here. They were supposed to cut it then and they didn't do it. So we finally opted to just go ahead and create the Green Tree Reservoir and leave the green trees in it. You see that? It's all pine trees and myrtle bushes back in there. And there's a few oaks along the edges. There's some oaks back in here and further back in there. And back in there, it gets real briary and just pretty inhospitable. We got some young planted pines in the background back here. See the young pines in the background? And then here's a big old clear cut that's grown up some. You got the pond over here. You can hear frogs. Hear those frogs? That means it's time to fish, man. I should be out there right now with a crappie jig, catching some crappie. So I wanted to show you, the soil's pretty sandy, but that liner goes down to the clay, and so it should do the job of being a moisture barrier. But I want to show you, here's some of that clay I broke through. This was a spot where the clay was a little higher than it was elsewhere. And see this stuff? Man, that stuff is just as dense and heavy. I mean, if you got that anywhere near the surface and you can dig down to it, you can create a situation just like this. Have your own little wood duck honey hole.